Fallon, who was a big globalist, when they finally told the brass a few years ago we're going to overthrow America, a lot of generals quit and left and are refusing. So there are a lot of aces in the hole out there, like Smedley Butler still. A lot of people we think are our friends are going to turn out not being our friends. A lot of people we didn't think were our friends are going to end up being our friends. And I just wanted to add that about Smedley Butler. And the Rand Corporation documents and others have stated that they do plan to stage a new war to help build their new world order, because a war will unify the people around the governments to follow their orders. Go ahead, Lindsey Williams.
Well, you're exactly right. And they will unite everything together, using this as the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Because after they've escalated inflation over a 2-year period, after they basically have buried the dollar, because now OPEC's not going to use it anymore. They're going to use a basket.
And then if you protest, they're going to use the Enemy Sedition Act saying we're at war, you can't protest the carbon tax and the citizen tattletales, and they'll stage terror attacks and say the foreigners are doing it. This is their plan.
Yes, that's exactly their plan. And everything that you have said, Alex, is true. Oh, my goodness. I wish I could open up the mind of every one of your audience out there and put into them what you are saying is true, folks. This is not just some alarmist out here. These are facts, and this gentleman just days ago backed up everything that you are saying, Alex. It's so amazing how that he basically said exactly what you said. But then I noticed on yesterday that something really kind of caught your ear. It was the expression that this man used, devil's Messiah. And by the way, we've had a number of phone calls come into our 800 service or our toll-free service, and they are fascinated with the idea that this man would use such an expression as devil's Messiah.
Well, give us the data dump. Tell us specifically what he said. You've got the floor. Tell us.
Yeah, let me clarify just a little bit. He's not talking about a man. He's not talking about the Antichrist. No, I'm not one of those people at all. This isn't what this man was talking about. This man was talking about a system, a spirit of deception that they have used over a period of years, and he went back and gave some things that I was appalled that he would give. In fact, I'm even wondering where this man that gave me this information, if maybe he hasn't had some change of heart as far as his...
Well, specifically, word for word, tell us what he said.
Yeah, he said that the elite have taken away America's God. Now, here's what I did. I went back, and I have it right here in my hand right now, the first textbook. I mean, this is how far this man went back and started enumerating. The first textbook ever used by a school in the United States of America was the original McGuffey's Reader. And the McGuffey Reader was written, and the first schools in America that were ever held were established for the purpose of teaching people how to read, teaching them how to read so that they could read the Bible. And listen to just one section here out of the McGuffey Reader. And this is the first textbook, by the way, of the American school. I wish we had it back again today. It says, "Oh, my God, do not allow me to sin. Help me to do as I was told." This is on page 54 of the original McGuffey Reader. He says, "Let me do unto others as I would have them do unto me." Our God can see all we do. God has an ear to all we say. Let all I do be fit for his eye. And it goes on and on and on. He said we had to remove, listen to this, folks, we had to remove the God of America before they could ever conquer the Republic. And then go back and look at Webster's Dictionary. I have a picture of this in my new DVD. Webster's Dictionary, the original Webster's Dictionary was written for the purpose of preserving the language of the Scriptures so that the Bible would always have the same meaning regardless of how much time might change the way the people use the words. And I have a reproduction of the original Webster's Dictionary, big, huge book, written for the purpose of maintaining the language of the Scriptures. They had to remove all of this. They had to take away America's God, the devil's Messiah. And actually, when he spoke of the devil's Messiah, he was talking about the system of what they have done in order to remove all righteousness, decency, and honesty from the government and from the political system of the United States of America. Then he went into the schools. Oh, my goodness, evolution. We talked about the subject of evolution. He said, basically, what they've done is they've caused human beings to think that nothing would evolutionize animals so that they will act like them. And that's exactly what they're acting like out there on the streets now. Then he went into the churches. Alex, I wish you could have heard this conversation between the two of us. He went into the churches. He went back and talked about 501c3. Now, I remember this well. I was a pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Hollywood, Florida, at the time of 1964, when the government came in and said, we would like for you to accept a 501c3 organizational status so that we can grant all of your parishioners who give money to your church a tax deduction for their money. They asked. They said, we'd like to ask you if you'd be willing to do this. Then, about 1966 and 67, they required it. I never took it. As a pastor, I said, this is a trap. There's no way in this world I'm going to accept this. This was a part of the plan of the elite. They had to remove God from the schools, from education. They entered evolution so that humans think they're evolutionized animals. Then they came over to the churches and deceived the pastors in 1964 and 65 with 501c3. By the way, folks, please, you've heard this expression, separation of church and state. I challenge you right now to go and read the Constitution of the United States of America, and you tell me anywhere in that document that the expression separation of church and state is used.
We'll continue with how you talked about how they're federalizing the churches, having them fill out dossiers on their members straight ahead, and then get into other areas in the notes you made that we haven't even covered yet. Lindsey Williams, stay with us.